Hi, and welcome. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to walk you through very quickly a brief overview of a native Windows Phone 7 application that is available out on the marketplace for Windows Phone users. And what it does is it demonstrates Microsoft Business Intelligence in the cloud on a mobile device. And so let me give you a quick background on this real quickly here. What it does is we leverage the Microsoft SQL Azure database, which is the SQL Server database in the cloud, and the Windows Azure platform, which is the platform as a service for Microsoft, and then the reporting services in the cloud, which is SQL Server reporting services on SQL Azure. And I also have some KPIs that are also delivered to the device through WCF services from that SQL Azure database as well. When you go to download this app and you start using it on your phone, you do not need to really set anything up. You just go directly start looking at the reports. I have a lot of sample reports out there for you. And the login to have access to those is a read-only reporting services login on Azure. And it's a demo is the username and the password is Microsoft One. Now what you can do with this is you can then also modify that and configure it for your own SQL Azure Reporting Services server and your own reports as well. I have it so that that's configurable. And then this would be the link to download the app. Just look for Microsoft Cloud BI Sample App or BI App. And you want to use version 2.0. It is the latest with a lot of new Windows Phone Metro features on it. How to customize it for your own, I'll show you that real quickly. Let me actually bring up the emulator to show you. So when you have the app running on your phone, I can't show you the reports in here because the reports are through SQL Azure on a web browser control, which does not render on my emulator here. But you can see the scrolling KPI ticker across the bottom, which are values that are coming out of a Windows Communication Foundation WCF service that I have running on my Windows Azure that you're going to be able to access. The way that you're going to go through the different reports is you're going to just use the pivot control slider here, and you're going to go from company dashboard to scoreboard, to scorecards, to sales regions, geography, so on and so on. And while the phone is loading the new report into your phone, you will see the indicator come up here letting you know that it is loading still. And when you first log in, just the first time when you start the app, you will be asked for login. That's when you put in demo and Microsoft One. If you can reconfigure this to point to your own SQL Azure and your own SQL Azure reporting services, then you will need to log in with your credentials on that server. I set up a read-only demo user, which is what demo Microsoft One has a password. That's what that account has the access only for read-only on those ports. Now across the bottom you see here on the menu that you can click the email button to email the report to your contacts. So when you have a report up, you can pick a contact and you can email it to them. When you click the home icon, this will set the home page to the current report that you're looking at. So if I was over here on scorecard and I clicked home, that would now be the report that comes up when I log in and I'm on the home screen. Plus, when you click that, you're able to select which of the KPIs are scrolling across the bottom. You can select which one of those you want to be your home KPI. And what that does is then when you are out here on your Windows Phone, if you make this, I can't do this in the emulator, but if you make this, actually I can do it in the emulator. If you pin that to start, this will, okay, so it doesn't show in the emulator. This will show the value of that KPI, there it goes, that KPI on your Windows Phone 7. So it'll use the live tile capability to flash that, and you get the actual value. So you can set what KPI you want to show up there. Now, what this is doing, the application is storing those values in secondary storage. So you can view these offline. Even when you're not online, you can still get the latest KPI values. You can't view the reports because they're over the internet and it's cloud BI, but the values I do store in secondary storage. So it's a demonstration of ways that you can take values from your BI, from your data, and you can have some level of secondary storage on those to persist those on the phone so that the phone can have value to your users even when they're disconnected from the network. Then when you click on the ellipsis and you see the menu, you can then do other things like you can reset the values, which just sets the app back to the original settings. You can set your server. This is where you're going to go to plug in your own reporting services server. So if you have your own, you do that there. And then report 1 through 5 is the name of the RDL, or the report definition language file, for each of the reports without the RDL or anything else on this. Notice how you just put in just the name of the report, but you saved it as a file as, and the same thing with the server. Don't set the HTTP or HTTPS on that, just put the server name on there, and you're good to go. Alright, so let's go back to the presentation, and what I'm going to show you here is some screenshots, since I can't show you that live. Some screenshots that show you what the reports would look like. I have some scorecards on there. You can see this is the login screen here that you're going to log in with Demo Microsoft One or your own credentials. There's a sample of a map. Now notice if you're familiar with SQL Server and SQL Server reporting services, these should all look familiar to you. This is just basic reporting services reports. I'll show you that in a second because I'm using the SQL Azure reporting services. That's all pretty much the same. And then I will also show you here that these are the Windows Azure aspects and pieces to make this a complete Cloud BI solution, where, and I'll show you this in a second here, I have a SQL Azure database, I have SQL Azure reporting services, and I have a Windows Azure service. You can replace the reporting and the database with your own. You don't have to use what I've given you out of the box to play with. And again, this is a sample app just meant really for trialing these things out. Okie doke. So let's take a look now what this looks like from an Azure perspective. So I'm logged into my Windows Azure account here. If you have Windows Azure accounts, what you can do is you can go to reporting, and you'll be able then to set up your own account. So when you set up your own reporting services, you can then go back to the phone and point to your reporting services server. When you ask for that from your Azure account and you get that set up, you can then go to the reporting server, which is the web services for reporting service. So there isn't a report manager like you have in SSRS Classic on-premises today for SQL Azure reporting, but you can see the reports on here, and so then I can click on it, and these reports are actually being rendered now here through my, of course, through my browser, but all I'm doing on the Windows Phone is that I am pointing to the URL for these reports onto the control on the Windows Phone, so that will then render on your phone, and that one actually, I can show you, that actually looks like this then when you render it on your phone. So just change, all I do is I just set the correct URL parameters, which SSRS already supports. I set that so that the form factor fits onto your phone. And last but not least, this is how you actually get the app. You go to the marketplace, the Windows Phone Marketplace, and you look for Microsoft Cloud BI and sample, and you want it to be the 2.0 version, which is this guy right here, and then you will be good to go. And so let's see. One more thing I want to show you is that you can also make your own reports. So you can go to your own Azure Reporting Services account and make your own reports. I do not allow that with my account because it's my account, and you just have read-only access to it. But just so you know that when you have SQL Azure Reporting Services, it really is very much just like reporting services on premises. And as you can see, I'm actually going to open up and look at the reports right there on my reporting services server. So you can go in and you can create your own reports, and you can point to those on the phone by going again to the ellipsis menu and picking a report, and you just put in the name that you give your report right there, and you will then have a fully functioning Cloud BI, mobile Cloud BI application on your Windows Phone 7. Okay, thanks a lot. Enjoy.